Joined here tonight by Winter High School head football coach Dan Aaker. Coach, your Warriors come back from a tough loss and get a huge win last Friday in Rapid City against St. Thomas More. It was a very emotional game with highs and lows. It had to make you feel good to see your team maintain composure and then come back in the fourth quarter to get that win. Did you see any fear in their eyes in that second half?
No, we had some questions going in, I think, because some of our confidence had maybe been taken away against Parkston. So it's always nice to see a really good opponent right after that. I had concerns going into the game. I just didn't know how to respond. I thought we would probably respond, and we really talked about that pre-game. That this is a character game. We're going to find out right where we're at, how bad we want it, how much does it care to us. And quite honestly, at halftime, even though it was kind of a downer, fumbling right before half, they were confident at halftime. They knew that we were going down a point, but we had moved the ball well, and just a matter of executing and playing a good second half, and kept battling. I thought we controlled the second half for the most part, especially line scrimmage, and made stops when we needed to. And so overall, I was very happy with how they responded. We didn't play the cleanest game, but we played well enough to beat them, so that was good to see.
I was really impressed with the line play last week, Coach. I know you're running a lot of players through the defensive line now. Did your depth play a factor in that win last weekend?
Well, I think so, because anytime you see a team that, like Moore did the last three quarters where they just spread you out and you're in a pass rush all the time, it's no secret that you get a lot more tired playing defense because you're in reaction mode all the time. So when you're on defense a lot, it's going to wear you out, but it's even twice as much, it seems like, when you're playing a passing team that's in shotgun trying to get pressure. And we've got a couple different types of guys there, a couple more run stoppers rather than pass rushers. But I was really happy with Jordan Turgeon and Chet Bryan getting in there and get some pass rush. We brought Isaac Nas off the edge a little bit, at the end. So we were rotating seven consistently, and you have to keep them fresh because if you're not getting pressure, a quarterback like Eastmo is going to get him. He's going to hurt you. So very happy the way they played as well, and we rotate them a lot during practice on both sides of the ball. They probably don't play as much offensively as defensively, but at any given time they may have to come in there and they get almost equal reps on offensive side too. So it just bodes well for the future too.
I know, just from my observations, I think that was one of Thomas Moore's downfalls, is they really didn't have that depth to be able to rotate, especially on the line.
Yeah, I think they probably wore him out a little bit, so that was probably a key factor, and that plays a big role in big games. And you get later here, you're playing 48 minutes hard and wear and tear on your body. The more you can get in there and get quality reps for everybody is going to be beneficial to you.
Coach, you come back with another rivalry game this week with Mobridge-Pollock. They were a longtime Big Dakota Conference foe. This year's seniors were 8th graders when the Tigers came to Winter and beat us twice en route to a state runner-up finish. I feel like their quarterback Mason Keller, who's a 3-year starter, has a lot of the same attributes of Bailey Freeze from that Mobridge team. Keeping him in between the tackles is going to be important tonight, correct?
Yeah, it'll be huge. He was one of the big three we were concerned about last year. And they lost Boren and Hill, but he's a really good football player on both sides of the ball. And they'll run zone option. He likes to keep a lot, and he's really a lot more dangerous, I think, throwing when he gets out of the pocket, because now he's a threat both ways, either throwing or passing, and he'll find people open if you allow him to do that. So that's been a big focus defensively, especially on our DNs. When they're doing that zone read option stuff, our DNs just cannot bite. I mean, they got to be right at Keller, and they got to stay in Keller and keep him inside. Then we got to tackle him when we get there, because not only he's a good runner, but he's a load. I mean, he's a strong football player and a really good football player. But the majority of what they do goes through him. So 100% correct defensively. He is the main focus and the guy we have to stop.
Some people might call this a trap game where you're coming off a big game, and really two big games, and respond with a less impressive effort. Is there an emphasis on that at practice this week?
Well, I'm a firm believer, and we talk about that because you hear that. You hear the people in the community or whoever will say, you got to watch out, trap game, whatever. Then heard the same thing against Valentine, and I call our guys out on that. I mean, good teams do not get trapped. Period. They play up to their capabilities. I think what's probably maybe helped us from that aspect is some of the injuries we've suffered. We've had to shuffle people around with Nate Galbraith and Brendan Harder and Riley Frazier not going to play tonight. So anytime you're moving people around, there has to be focus, and I think everybody understands that. But it also brings excitement to the guys that are next guy in line. This is their shot, and in my experience is you worry about that almost panic mode early, but then those guys always seem to step up, and there's not a huge difference in when you go down their depth chart for a ways, and I'm excited to see how those guys respond and play tonight. But that's added to it. I think it has not allowed them to look ahead or relax or anything, because once you lose some of your key players, it just makes it extra focus for everybody. So that's probably helps a little bit. But as I go right back to the original question, good teams don't get trapped, and we really kind of preach that week in and week out.
You're in the position of having 3 games at the end of the season here that you'd have to be considered heavy favorites in. When you get to that rolling clock, you normally have already rotated a lot of your JV guys in under most circumstances. Tell me a little bit about the thought process of how long you leave starters in when games start getting lopsided.
Yeah, it can always be a tricky situation, and it kind of goes year to year. I think we've been fortunate this year that some of the depth we have and some of our younger guys are physically capable to play probably at the start of the game, some of them. So that gives you a little more leeway of subbing. You never want to, show up a team, but at the same time, you don't want to put your own kids in danger. We're probably beneficial that we're too deep at every position that I don't know if I'd worry about any of those positions of throwing guys out there. So if we get comfortable leads, which is typically 3 touchdown and certainly at 4 touchdown, we're rotating a lot, especially the guys we want to see and feel that we need to get reps in case we run in circumstances like we have this week with injuries when they never know when they're going to have to go. And then the one thing with rolling clock, it goes fast. The games are certainly in control. We try to get everybody in the best we can. But we're still looking at that second group of getting the quality minutes because they need it the most. It's a tough situation on both sides for coaches. Whether you're the one that's getting beat or you're the one that's winning, there's no probably right answer. We just try to. I guess my belief is I never want to embarrass a team, and do the best you can not to let that happen. But I can't tell my guys to back off either. I expect them to go out there and compete and play hard,
Sure.
And they do that. So it's kind of a fine line.
And you're not going 100%. Your chance of getting injured certainly goes up too.
Right.
So, last question, Coach. You got a nice group of former Warriors on college rosters this year. I know we have Eric Sheets and Kyle Bertram playing at Presentation College. Jake Ranick and Shaden Dre both at School of Mines. Craig Krolikowski is doing some real nice things at USD as a true freshman. And junior Taylor Haley is a starter on the line for the nationally ranked DW Tigers. Do you stay in contact with any of your former players who are playing college ball this year?
A little bit. I see them over the summer. Most of them are back and get a chance to kind of see them then. And they do a really good job when they come back to stop and see me. Unfortunately, I don't get to go see them much or hardly at all because of, I guess, my expectations I put on myself to get our guys ready and the game plan ready over the weekend. But it's exciting to see. It's great for the program. We have a lot of visitors in the winter months come to see our guys, whether they're the seniors or underclassmen, and a lot of that's attributed not only to our success, but they know the type of kids they're getting that probably come out of our program, and the well-rounded academically and not only just football players. So great to see those guys, and we seem to get one or two every year that go somewhere, and I wish I could probably talk to them more, but I get the chance to talk to them off and on, yes.
As always, I appreciate your time and best of luck tonight, Coach.